So we're gonna simplify rational equation. So we're gonna start by simplify something easy. So let's talk about fourth grade level. So simplify rational equation, rational expression, sorry. So how do I simplify rational expression? If I want to simplify rational expression, I want to start by thinking about how the fourth grade works. So fourth grade level, how do I simplify it? So fourth grade, we got 26 over 13. And you know that 26 over 13 is just cancel 2 over 1, right? But what if I do it slow motion? If I do it slow motion, it's different. So what I mean by slow motion is actually my first step is to factor 26 over 13. Is 13 factorable? No, because 13 is a prime number, right? So it's pretty much 1 times 13. Does that make sense? So the first step is to factor first. So if I simplify rational function, factor it first. How do I simplify 26? How do I factor 26? I mean, 2 and 13, right? Now I can simplify by cancel out the 13. Does that make sense? And that's equal to, pay attention. Although it's simple stuff, make sure 1 and 1. So my answer is 2 over 1. Does that make sense? So that's a simplified rational expression. It's no different than fourth grade. So now what you're going to do is, what does high school level algebra 2 looks like? So x squared minus 25 over x plus 5. And we say, hey, can you simplify this? Okay. So we go into our algebra 2 level and pre-calc level, just depending on the day. Some day we're gonna mix in. Other days we're gonna go back because we wanna go back and make sure foundation's correct. So I still treat this as a basic information. How do I simplify x squared minus 25 over x plus 5? Okay, don't do that. Okay. Understood? Good. Okay. Good. Okay, so a lot of you guys think about a good thing, which is what I do. It's actually the most important thing is like here. Factor first, right? So factor first, right? So you don't want to simplify. A lot of people simplify x squared over x. You cannot do that. You kill a puppy when you do that. I'm serious. It's not okay for you to do this. To simplify it like this. You kill a puppy. And on your test, it's going to say let's kill a puppy. I'm going to explain to you why though. What can you do? Like for example, if I have 2 over 4 minus 2, this one can actually simplify, but not 2 and 2. What you technically supposed to be able to do is factor the 2 on the bottom. Does that make sense? Now, every time you cancel, it has to be a factor. It's not connected by additional subtraction sign, it's connected by multiplication sign. So this is multiplied by this is multiplied by 1, so therefore they can simplify this down to 1 over what? 2 minus 1, that's equal to 1 over 1, that's equal to 1. We know 2 over 2 is 1, but this is a slow motion of how things works. Okay? You cannot simplify 2 and 2, then you're going to get 1 over 4, then that's wrong. 1 over 3, that's wrong. Whatever that is wrong. So make sure you don't do things like that. So let's how to simplify x squared minus 25 over x plus 5. You suppose factor this? Right? So that's equal to x minus 5. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to give you another question. Be careful with this one, okay? X plus 2 over x squared minus x minus 6. I want you to simplify this, but don't make mistake. And you know when I say don't make mistake is because I know some of you guys are gonna make mistake, and that mistake is gonna be predictable. Last period it was 2 people. Hopefully this period has nobody. But I predict that those 2 people are gonna get it wrong, and hopefully it's not you. Ariana is like, don't push at me. It's okay. It's okay to make mistake. It's not okay for not trying though. I'm more disappointed that people not trying to make mistakes. What's the result? You didn't finish it. You didn't finish it probably.
I was just lazy. I already know we did a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oh, good. I think nobody made mistake, which this class is good because hiddenly, you actually build a good habit. And that habit is this. A lot of you guys don't think about when you're doing stuff like that. And on the test, this is what happened on the test. I'm gonna show you what happened on the test. On the test, they got this. They did everything perfect, right? And they did everything perfect till this part, right? And they say that's the answer. That's not the answer. You're supposed to simplify, right?
Yeah.
And they say the answer is x minus 3. And I say, take out 5 points. Why is that? Because when you cancel something, that doesn't just go away. It doesn't make it become 0. Even if it becomes 0, it's gonna make the whole thing become equal to 0. But it actually cancels as 1. Putting that 1 over there, it does not hurt you. It's actually only benefiting. But you see this kind of mistake all the time. Even people in the calculus, all the time. Drive me insane, but people's gonna do it. Okay, next 2 questions. A little bit more challenging. Actually, I want to see how far you can go. This class is a bit better, so we're gonna see how far you guys can go. So we're gonna start with this question. It says 2x squared over 10x to the third minus 2x to the second. So that's the first question. Second question, I want a 9x squared plus 13x plus 4 over this 13 is not 15. A lot of people don't understand my 13. So 13x ax squared plus x minus 7. The next one I want to give it to you is 5x to the 4th, no, 5x to the 7 over 15x to the 4th minus 5x to the 3rd. Okay, so, and I'm gonna give you fewer tough ones, so it'll be x to the 3 plus 8 over 2 plus x. And if you're really good, you can get to here, 2y squared plus 2 over y to the 3rd minus 5y squared plus y minus 5. Okay. So this is the 3rd question, this is the 4th question, this is the 5th question. We're not able to go through them all, but I want to see if you can do at least 1 and 2. 1, 2, and 3 are the major one. The fourth one's a little bit harder because you need to know how to factor the sum and difference of the cube. The fifth one is factored by grouping. So all those are responsible on your homework because you have to know how to factor everything, not just only one aspect. You have to know how the different kind of aspect. You have to know how to factor everything. The third question may be kind of tricky because there's still exponential rule involved. So those are all other questions. How much time I have left?
10 minutes,
10 minutes, okay.
8 minutes.
I know it's really tempting to cancel this. But remember on the test, I'm gonna say you kill a puppy. Puppies do not wanna die. You're gonna go as far as you can, go all the way, try to solve all 5 problems if you can. But if you cannot, that's okay. Minimum 3. Ariana, take that first step. It's okay. Now, I can ask you finding domain of all this function as well. So make sure you know how to find domain, which is denominator only equal to 0, or cannot equal to 0. I'm gonna start with the first one. Is that okay? Can I factor anything on the top? No, right? Can I factor anything on the bottom? GCF, good. People forget about GCF all the time, right? But GCF is the first step you think about factoring. So what is GCF?
Greatest common factor.
Yeah, greatest common factor, but what is it in this case? 2x squared, right? You should left with the 5x minus 1. Now is your answer 5x minus 1?
No, it has to be there has to be a 1 in the numerator because
Right. So make sure you don't do mistakes. So 1 over 5x minus 1. So if you got through, this one's okay. That's like 50%, right? And you get through the second one, you say, okay, well, this one is actually a factoring test. If you realize this is very hard factoring, it has an extreme size, which is good. That makes you guys try different things. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna factor the top. I'm gonna do 9x squared and 4 and 13x. And I'm gonna do 3x and 3x. It might not work, but that's okay. I'm gonna get 6x and 6x. Am I gonna get 13? It might not be a good idea, right? So I'm gonna change the 2 and 2 first. I'm gonna change in 4 and 1. 4 and 1, that's gonna give me 12 and 3. And that doesn't seem like that's gonna work. So if I change all option for the second term, I should change the first term, right? So instead of do 9, 3 and 3, what can we do? 9, 1. So if I do 9, 1, the number is gonna get way too big. Because I'm gonna get 36x and this is gonna be x. Which is, but I can switch this number, right? Flip them. So I'm gonna say, well, how about 1 and 9? Well, in this case, that'll be broke out really nicely. 4x and 9x. And that's equal to x plus 1 times 9x plus 4. Does that make sense? Am I going too fast? Yes.
Why'd you factor out the top first?
I just get used to just top to bottom,
Oh.
but you can factor the bottom.
Okay.
Because what do you technically, if you want to find domain, you want to factor the bottom first.
Okay.
So I have 8x squared minus 7 and x, and and I'm gonna do 7 and 1, obviously. I'm gonna do 4 and 2 first, but doesn't seem that's gonna work out because you 28 and 2, that's too big a number. If I do 2 and 4, that doesn't seem it's gonna work out to get positive x, so I have to do 8 and 1. So I'm gonna do 1 and 8 here, because I know this one, I want a 7, 8x here, and one of them need to be negative, which one? The top or need bottom? Top, okay, so it's gonna be ax minus 7, and then x plus 1, right? So it's gonna be ax minus 7, x plus 1,
They both share x plus 1, so it'll be 9x plus 4.
9x plus 4 over what?
9x minus 7.
Yeah, and that's good. So if we get down to this part, that's great. Now, why I give you a number 3? Because it looks kind of like this, but it's kind of different. You have to be careful with this type of question. So it's kind of different, that means kind of scary. So what I'm going to do is factor the 5x to the 7, and I'm going to factor the bottom. What did I factor out here?
5x to the
5x to the third.
Right, so now I'm going to have what? 3x?
minus 1.
3x minus 1. Now be careful, because this is exponential rule, right? So this doesn't just cancel each other, so it's a 5x to the 7 over 5x to the third. That's an exponential rule. That's going to be x to the 7 minus 3. That's equal to x to the 4, I think. So it'll be x to the 4th over 3x minus 1.
Yay.
Is that hard? No, it just, why do we still apply what I learned before? Because now this, just pretty much I'm looking at this. And that becomes a exponential problem. Okay, so next two, factor by the cube. You should know how to use SOAP, right? So it should have x plus 2 times by x squared minus 2x plus 4 over 2 plus x. Am I okay?
You should simplify. The x plus 2 and 2, because the commutative property, you can simplify x plus 2 and 2 plus x.
Right, so 2 plus 3 and 3 plus 2, they are technically the same thing. So you can simplify that, but tomorrow we're going to talk about a different case. So in this case, we're going to do 1 and 1. That's going to give me x squared minus 2x plus 4. Because plus is okay. So 2 plus 3 and then 3 plus 2, are they equal to the same thing?
Yeah.
Same thing. Can I change this to 2 plus 3? Yeah. I can simplify this. That's just going to give me 1 over 1. That's equal to 1.
The same can also be, said for multiplication.
Right.
Not divisions.
Are we okay here?
Yeah.
Now the last one, see, this is just review. All the factoring can possibly be. 2y squared plus 2. Can I factor anything here? I'm going to write on this side. That's equal to what? 2, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to be y squared plus 1. Am I going too fast?
No.
Is this factorable? Well, that's a trick question, right? It's a factorable in the way, in the higher level, you can get y plus I and y minus I, but in lower level, which is we don't have to deal with that. We're gonna factor this. So I'm gonna get y squared over y minus 5, I believe. I'm gonna factor out 1 to y minus 5. Am I going too fast?
So then you should simplify it to 2 over.
So then you should have equal to 2 times y squared plus 1 over y squared plus 1 over y minus 5.
And then you should simplify that into 2 over y minus 5.
Yep, good. And that's it. If you have a question, put on the video.
Or will be posted on Edmodo.
Yeah.
I have a question. So, when you were simplifying,
Yeah.